Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. I'm so sorry I was not here yesterday. I just really was not feeling well. I had a load of stuff to do at other work at the office I had to get done. And it was just, so I'm really sorry I was gone yesterday. I don't like doing that. If I'm behind the microphone upstairs, I like to be behind the microphone here too. So thanks for your patience. I really appreciate it. I talked about this morning. We got to go to the president's True Social account. This video, I'm going to play this video and I'm going to warn you because there's some profanity in it, okay? So you're warned. There's profanity in the video, but it is incredibly funny. The president shared this on True Social.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know? At least for a while, until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
That's the video that I mentioned, and Chuck Schumer was going on about. So there it is. I wouldn't have played that on the air because of the language, but I'll do it here. So just be aware of that. I try to be respectful in my own language, but when that's just all right. The president and Pete Hegseth are addressing the nation's generals, and the president's speaking right now. And I was listening to some of it, and I would rather just catch highlights of it later. The president has a tendency at times to go on. So Pete Hegseth talked first, and he was pretty motivated. I could see, from the studio television upstairs, I could see he was pretty animated. Hegseth was. So he announced military services will enforce shaving standards, which had been relaxed in recent years, and physical fitness standards. He said, I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape or in a combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first but not the best. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. He also criticized service members and leaders who are overweight, saying it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. He didn't pull any punches. Every service member will now be required to take a physical training test twice a year. They will need to meet height and weight requirements. And he said the department will review its definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing in order to loosen regulations. Said accusations have been weaponized and bastardized. This is Pete Hegseth speaking. So he said the administration has done a great job from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. And he said, any military leader who's upset with that, do the honorable thing and resign. So that's among the comments that Pete Hegseth shared with the generals. So the president, as I mentioned, is speaking now. Let's go among, as you see here, this is the New York Post. Hegseth railing against fat generals. And he's right. He's absolutely right. You're in the military. President saying, okay, half an hour ago, this hasn't, hold on. One new entry. 11 minutes ago, the president warning drug smugglers after sinking now a fourth boat. If you try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence, he said. That's the only language they really understand. That's why you don't see any more boats on the ocean. So he was talking about ships in the Navy. Here's what really caught my attention. The president saying he wants more ships. And he said, I'm not a fan of some of the ships you do. I'm a very aesthetic person, and I don't like some of the ships you're doing aesthetically. They say, oh, it's stealth. They say, that's an ugly ship. That's Trump. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on that, where he's talking about ships being aesthetically pleasing. So I do understand when it comes to stealth, and I think you see that with aircraft. The shape is such that you go, wow, you see some of those stealth, for instance, a stealth bomber, and you think, that's a different kind of aircraft. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. So I understand some of that stealth, but I also understand where the president's coming from, where he is talking about ships that are aesthetically pleasing, because you're steaming ships in, let's say, the Middle East. You want to show a force in the Middle East, and you want these ships, and you want a couple of garbage scows looking like, you know what I mean? You want it to look tough. I mean, the United States, man. It's the United States. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. President also saying that Axios has got this story. President Trump, now these are comments he made prior to the speech. He said he would fire any generals he disliked on the spot. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. So Hegseth giving his speech, for too long we promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called first, Hegseth said. So the military will be redefining so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing. So what did the president say? Hegseth saying, you're all based on merit. We're not going to have somebody taking your place for political reasons because they are politically correct and you're not. So he's reassuring these generals that we are not going to be putting people over you because they're politically correct. You're not. We want the best warfighters. Hegseth has been very, very clear about this. We want the best warfighters. We want people who know how to wage war. So that's pretty much the theme of both Hegseth's and President Trump's comments this morning at the Pentagon. Initially, the president wasn't supposed to be there. It was just Hegseth and the military leaders, and then the president indicated he would also come. And we'll see. The president, at times, his speeches really then take on a political overtones. And sometimes I think they sound like campaign speeches because he's out there and he's selling his ideas, his beliefs. He's out there selling it to the American people. And Sometimes I think it's a distraction. We'll see. I'm not saying that's the case today. We'll see how it goes. But he does that sometimes. But he's a president. He can do that. I just have a great amount of respect for these guys. Okay, there was another story. A couple of other stories I want to share with you also here this morning. This just blows my mind. 24-year-old illegal immigrant caught posing as a high school kid in the U.S. And so he was 24 years old. He had a baby with his ex-fiance, a town over in Toledo. And for over a year, he fooled authorities, falling for a birth certificate he produced and taking 6 years off his age. Why people do this is beyond me. Why do you have people that want to go back to high school? And I just, for the life of me, don't understand that. You hear a number of this. So he's 24. He's pretending he's 16. His new guardians, a couple in their 60s, are watching over him. Who is it here who's speaking? I think this is his ex-fiance. I was questioning what the truth was. Did he lie to me about being an adult, or did he lie to them about being a child? I didn't know what was going on. I care about him. He's the father of my daughter. Yeah, this is ex-fiance. So the Medfords called the school. They called the police. They searched his room, made some pretty unsettling discoveries: a burner cell phone, fake ID, semi-automatic pistol, 3 loaded 9mm magazines. Then he pled guilty to, sorry, too fast here, lying on immigration forms and on an application to buy a firearm. What a shock. What a surprise. And photos of him and his former fiance. And why did he do it? That's a great question. Now, she's a U.S. citizen. Probably only he knows why he did it, and maybe not even him, to be honest. Anthony is impulsive. Wow. I don't know that I would use the word impulsive to describe that. I think I might use some other adjectives. Impulsive might not be the first one. And this video this morning really caught my eye. And I thought, I'm sharing this today on the 4th hour because it just doesn't play on radio. I want you to see this. This is video. This is an elephant charging at a couple of tourists, and you'll be able to see it pretty clearly. So let's turn up. Here it comes. I'm trying to get away from the elephant, man. Now watch this. Boom. Get out of there. Get out. And I think by this time the elephant understands they pose no threat. It's turning around. And that is just like absolutely crazy. So what do they do? Go. Ooh, wow. She's okay now. According to the report, she's okay. I think the lesson here is you're out and about. Don't be messing with the elephants. Just wow. That would be more than a little bit. Yeah, Steve's right. Don't mess with the wildlife. Okay, let's see what some of you were saying. Brian was saying about Pete Hegseth making our military what it's supposed to be, the greatest fighting force in the world. Absolutely right. David is saying we started with the War Department, had very few wars. Under the Defense Department, we had endless wars. Yeah. Talking about the name change there. The I think we're good. I think that's it. I'm going to leave it there for today. You've made it to the end of the video. So you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade who are here each and every day. Again, sorry I was gone yesterday, but I'm glad you're here again today. Please tell some other folks. Let some other folks know, will you? I'm doing it every day. Every day I come to work doing the videos, trying to give you more information, more content, and spend a little time with you. And if you've got friends that you think will enjoy what we do, please bring them into the fold. I'd appreciate it. So until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.